We're part of an elite fraternity, you and me. Rookie year, we both had coaches fired after 4 games. hey,
He said elite fraternity.
elite, bro, elite. They didn't even give Scott Linehan 5 games, dude. What are you supposed to do? We were rookies. Like, you're looking around like the guy that drafted me's gone. What the fuck? It's chaos.
Dennis Allen, man. We just practiced against him in New Orleans.
Yeah.
Then he got Derek too. So he drafted Derek too. So it was definitely one of those like, damn, okay.
I ain't got me nobody. I ain't got me no. I got the green light, baby.
Chargers fans, what's the word? You guys have a real reputation for being perpetually disappointed. Every time I pick y'all, it's like a bunch of people explain to me, like I didn't play football for a long time, that it never works out for you guys. That, you always suffer some terrible bad luck loss at the end of the year. You blow it. I don't see it that way. I picked the Chargers to win the AFC West. People aren't going to scare me away from making this bold take I've been making the last 3-4 years. Is this the year y'all deliver? I mean, the division seems more wide open than it has in the past, even though everybody wants to pick the Chiefs and win the Super Bowl because obviously no Chris Jones. And we don't know what's going on with Kelsey right now as I sit 10:45 p.m. Tuesday evening, 2 days before the Lions game. I think this division is wide open for you guys. You just got to get over the hump and beat the Chiefs. I asked Khalil Mack about that in this interview. I loved talking to Khalil Mack, one of my favorite players, because of the way he uses power. Myself, I wasn't a speed rusher, especially late in my career when Khalil got in the league. So I love seeing guys winning relatably. I felt like I could take something from his game, watch his film, but I can't move people the way Khalil Mack moves people. I mean, that guy has tested everybody's anchor, and nobody's had enough to sit him down on a bull rush. And everything in his game comes off of power. We talk about that too. Love the guy. It was great talking to him. Love his game. And I love your team this year. Please try not to fuck it up because I picked you guys. Is it true? Is it true that you guys get disappointed a lot? I just asked the Jets fans in our Joe Douglas interview. Check that one out. It just dropped the other day. What is the most hopeless moment in the history of being a Jets fan? I'm not going to ask you guys that. I'm going to ask you a better question. I forgot the question, Reed. What was it?
You want to know the best defensive performance by a Charger.
There it is. Best defensive performance by a Charger all time that you can remember. I know Sean Merriman had some great games. Junior Seau. You guys have had a lot of good defensive players over the years. But who had the one game that you'll never forget? Because one thing we talk about with Khalil Mack is that 5-sack game where he tied my dad's record for the Oakland Raiders. At the time, it was the Oakland Raiders. And so it begs the question, who had that game for you as a Chargers fan? Like, subscribe, tell your friends about the podcast. Don't be like my 4-year-old who, when he watches YouTube and they say like and subscribe, hit the thumbs up, he sits there looking at the screen like this. He doesn't know anybody's watching him. Don't do that shit. Really hit the button. Tell your friends about this. If you enjoy the interview, come back for more. I hate buying tickets. I've been playing my whole life, never had to worry about buying tickets. The ticket part is stressful. The game's stressful. The ticket part's really stressful. Buying tickets to your favorite events shouldn't be stressful. Game Time is the fast and easy way to buy tickets for all the sports, music, comedy, and theater near you. With killer deals on last-minute tickets and their best price guarantee, you can stop stressing over tickets and start getting hyped for the fun you'll have. And with the Game Time app, it's easy to find and buy tickets for every kind of event in your area. If I'm trying to see the monster trucks for my kids or Willie Nelson for me and my kids, I can find it all in the Game Time app. Game Time's the place for last-minute ticket deals. Forget planning months in advance. Game Time has the deals on tickets right up to the day of the event. Get exclusive flash deals on tickets for football, basketball, baseball, concerts, comedy, theater, and more. The Game Time guarantee means you'll always get the best price. If you find tickets in the same section and row for less, Game Time will credit you 110% of the difference. Snag the tickets without the stress with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use code GREENLIGHT for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account and redeem code GREENLIGHT for $20 off. Download Game Time today. Last minute tickets, lowest price guaranteed. All right, one of my favorite players in the league. I mean, I love power rushes, man. And this guy, I just watched him when he came in the league, and he would just roll through people like a wave, like they didn't know what hit him. And I've always wanted to ask him what he's eating for breakfast on game day. I finally get him on the show. Khalil Mack, how we doing, big guy?
Man, I'm blessed, man. I'm blessed. Can't complain. Now, how you, man?
I'm good, bro. Just doing this, podcast thing is a lot easier than rushing the passer, but you're still doing it at a high level, man. So I'm excited to see you play this year. I guess my first question would be this. I mean, we were just talking about this on Inside the NFL today. Me and the guys were saying, what's your favorite part of the beginning of the season? And for me, it's just cut downs are tough, but when that room empties out a little bit, it's kind of a special feeling. It means we're going to battle, and we got a game plan, an actual game plan. No more messing around. So you got the Dolphins this week.
Yeah.
How do you go through your, progression, so to speak, when it comes to preparing to rush a certain guy or a group of guys, because you might not know who's going to play?
Yeah, man, that's a good question, man. Like you said, I start off with the run game, but not only just the run game, looking at the offensive line, seeing what kind of clues they're going to give me, run pass keys. From there, you kind of just dissect formations and all those different things as the week goes out and see if what you dissected matches up with what the coaches dissected. And so that's kind of how I start Monday, Tuesday, trying to figure out what I'm gonna do.
Do you come in with a rush plan, or do you feel it out as the game goes on?
I feel like you can come in with a rush plan, but what you might be getting might be different than what you saw on film the weeks before. Just understanding, having Joey on the other side. The whole game plan might switch this year. You know what I mean? They might be doing more bumps, more trap passes, more things to kind of slow us down, screens, all those different things like that. And so it's just the understanding of the game and knowing who you're playing against and what the coach may be thinking that week.
Dude, it's funny because, that brings up a point where when Aaron Donald got drafted, or when Robert Quinn showed up, and it wasn't just me and a couple guys or whatever, and we had a whole crew, people were like, how great is this playing with Aaron Donald? I was like, well, not that fucking great because the ball's getting out. You know what I mean? Like, it's like you think it's supposed to be easier because there's a bunch of you dogs up front, but it's like the more of y'all there are, the more they're going to go quick game.
Oh, right now, man, and that's the part of the game that you see changing more and more because, like you said, it's more than one guy on the field that can rush the passer nowadays. It's more than likely three, and you see that. I know you was in Philly, and they probably got 6 guys that's rolling. So it's one of those things where the game is affected when you hit the quarterback, but they not going to try to give you a chance to get there.
Do you plan things? Well, I know you said you might go into it and not have a plan, but as the game goes on, but you seem like a guy that the speed is set up by the power. Like it's you got speed, you got great top of the rush mechanics and all that stuff, which is one of the hardest things. Is once you win at 8, how do you stay at 8? Which you're real good at, but I feel like you set things up with power. How true is that? And what comes off of power for you?
I mean, man, that's a good question as well, man.
Bro, I'm like 2 for 4 right now. That'll get you in the All-Star game in baseball.
Don't want to get too much of it away. Yeah. But like you said, speed. I feel like speed sets up the power. For me, great get off. Looking at the feet of the offensive lineman, I like to look at certain steps. I'm not gonna say which step.
Yeah, don't say it, dude.
But yeah. I like to look at certain steps to know when I'm gonna get this guy off balance and for good terms without trying to get too much away.
We can go. Let's go in the past, man, because that's said and done. But like the Osweiler game, it's the Khalil Mack game, which to me, You know, you did something good when people are like, "Yeah, the Khalil Mack game," and everybody knows what they're talking about. That's the kind of day, dude, where it just all comes together. And all those sacks came in the second half.
Yeah.
Take me through how that day went and when you knew it was going to be a good day.
Oh man, I low-key didn't know it was gonna be a good day at first. I feel like that was a low-scoring game.
Yeah.
But I knew Brock would hold the ball. I feel like was Peyton out for like a stretch of games that year.
Yeah.
And we saw that Brock, he'll hold it, man. And so just knowing that we knew we would have time to get there, and having an inside presence, Mario Edwards, man, he didn't get a lot of credit for that game, but he pushed that pocket, man. Mm-hmm. And whenever we were on the same side, it just seemed like Brock was falling in my arms, and so it kind of made it a little easy. But like you said, a lot of power rushes, a lot of long arms, and we knew where he was going to be standing at in that pocket, and I knew I was going to have a chance to get there.
Yeah, and that was Pops' record. You and him tied. You and Howie Long, dude. Yeah, and he was hyped, man, because he just loves you. So he was like, if anybody's gonna tie or break my record, I bet he was in studio rooting for you to get 6, man.
Yeah, man, that was dope, man. I remember meeting your Pops, man, for the first time with the hard handshake.
Big handshake, dude.
Yeah.
Hey, you know who's got the hardest handshake of all time? Have you ever met Adrian Peterson?
Oh yeah. I mean,
that motherfucker will break your hand, dude. But yeah, Dad's a big dude. I'm surprised when you guys met. Did you start talking through pass rush because he loves to? Man. And then he'll rip your shirt like he'll.
Yeah.
Bro,
he almost got me.
Yeah. He came to Virginia when I was at Virginia, and this was back in the white tee era. And he was throwing dudes around by their collar, and a 3X turned into a 4X. Man, like guys were upset. They were like, "Man, I got a great coaching point, but I can't wear this shirt anymore."
Hey, bro, man, your Pops, man, he said. I feel like we talked probably like 15 minutes in the Oakland Raiders cafeteria, and he was just really passionate about what he was telling me, man, and I think he forgot that I was a human being because he was telling me about what he did on the field goal post.
Yeah, the hump move.
Oh man, I said, "Yo, is he trying me right now? He trying to figure out how tough I am?"
Yeah, no.
Hey, yo, but no, it was
he doesn't know how strong he is, man. That's
incredible,
all it is.
Man. Yeah. It's incredible, man. Especially knowing where he at this stage in life, but he's still incredibly strong, man.
Yeah. Well, the funny thing is, he used to tell me, he'd be like, "Just try the hump move, man. It's the Reggie White. I used to land it all the time. You just throw the chop down and then you want to get under their left armpit and they'll just go flying." And I'm like, yeah, maybe for you, bro.
I've tried that a few times.
Yeah, it doesn't always work. It works for you sometimes, though, bro.
Sometimes. I try to get the lift part up out of there, but I just end up taking them for the ride.
With Mahomes, because like you talked about Osweiler holding the ball. I think Mahomes he's the kind of guy, like when I was in Russ's division, I always joke Russ got my kids paid for college because he used to sit back there, bake a cake. But the other part of it was you got to tackle him. You got to get there. Yeah, and, that little dude knew how to find windows and how to manipulate the pocket. Pat is really good at doing that. What's the key to rushing him with vision?
Yeah, I feel like that's the big key to make sure you corral him and keep him in the pocket. But that doesn't always work either. So you want to affect him, but you still want to set him up to do the wrong things. But it's definitely tough to do that because I guess I don't know what you call it, like the field vision, whatever that may be. You think he don't know you coming, but he spin out and just create time. And that makes it even harder for the guys on the back end. And so it's like, man, and then he ripping throws that nobody else can make while on the run. And so it's almost like he does it better when he's moving versus when he's standing in the pocket. So it's one of those things, kind of give and take with him, but I think more so power against him whenever I'm rushing him. Well, really all mobile and throwing quarterbacks when they, you know what I'm saying, take off out of the pocket and try to throw the ball. And so that's kind of got to be the process and thought process with me and Joey this year when we play against those guys.
Yeah, what's it like having a guy opposite you that you can kind of communicate with non-verbally pre-snap? You guys might get in the huddle and say hi, low, whatever it was. Me and Rob used to work different things.
Yeah.
You know, there's like games inside and there's games with your 3-tech.
Yeah.
But is there a game being played with you and Joey?
Yeah, man, I feel like that's something we've been communicating more this off season. Understanding what advantages we have when you said high lows and all those different things. I know me and Bruce Irvin, we did that a lot up against Phillip Rivers. Tried to make him scramble out to his left, and he couldn't run. He couldn't run to his left while holding the ball.
Yeah.
And so just understanding what advantages we have, I feel like that's going to be one of our strong suits this year.
Well, Rivers used to talk a little shit, actually, and I was going to ask because I saw Mahomes on the thing with Crosby and him and Max going at it. One of the reasons I like Patrick is he's got a little shit to him. Does he jaw at y'all?
Oh man, I feel like one of the first things Pat said to me last year, because I think Nagy's there with him now, and that was my head coach, and I think that's his quarterback coach right now. He was like, "Man, I have a lot of respect for you." And it's like, all right, let's get to it. All right, let's get to it. Yeah.
He's trying not to get killed back there, dude. He thinks he might take it easy on him.
No, man. But he's a respectful dude. But being at this, going into year 10, you know, it's not too much joy you get from those kind of guys. You know what I mean? I think the respect level is there. Seeing Aaron Rodgers the other day. Talking to my young
Jihad
Ward,
he said, and you know what my favorite part was? And we were just talking about this on the show. My favorite part is Jihad had nothing to say back to him, and he just said, "Yeah, I don't know who you are either," which is a total lie. But I loved it. He was backed into a corner, man. He had no choice. What's it take to beat the Chiefs, man? Because every time you guys play them, it's like a classic. And, you know, I picked you guys to win the division this year. I love the Chargers. I like watching y'all, man. And I think if you guys can put it together, you know, you can be that team. And I wonder, because they're the team you have to beat, what it takes. You're a vet in that locker room. You're talking to young guys. What do we have to do this year to beat the Chiefs and get over that hump?
First off, man, we can't beat ourselves. Different things from penalties to all the hidden yardage game. Just understanding I think they did some things in special teams last year that affected the first game, and I feel like they got a pick at the end. Just all those different things where you can't hurt yourself. We can't beat ourselves first and foremost, because for some reason, man, these guys they won't go down even if you punch them or you hit them. They won't go down easy, and so it's that thought process of dominating those guys and not making it close to the end and all those different things and playing them good. That can't be the thought process. We have to dominate those guys, and it starts with shutting down Patrick Mahomes and Travis Kelce. That connection, knowing he's going to him when the money's on the line, and that's a test for Derwin and the DBs in the back end. And so just making that next step and understanding who we want to be, and like you said, to take that next step to win the division. Yeah.
I want to talk about Chicago, but how you got there, it was crazy, man. You know, like when you got your option picked up, and they, you know, these are your guys. You're happy for Gabe and you're happy for Derek, but I'm looking from over, you know, in St. Louis or wherever I was, and I'm like, pay this kid. What's going on? Was that a really tough pill to swallow? Did you take it personally?
Oh, absolutely. At the time, I took it very personal. Just understanding. At the time, I feel like we didn't have much on defense. I feel like everybody on offense was getting paid. They paid, like you said, they paid Derek, Gabe. I think Ko Kalichi was another top paid guard. It was like, dang, they loading up on offense, but then throughout the process, I felt like I wasn't getting much help on defense. I remember they brought in Alden, and Alden ended up getting suspended, probably like around like the 6th, 7th game or something that year. And I was like, dang, well, guess they trying. And then I think Navarro Bowman came over, and we were able to play pretty well with him in the middle. But it was like, dang man, when they gonna help us out over on this side? I remember having that conversation with one of my, I think the defense coordinator at the time, Ken Norton. I don't know if you're familiar with Ken Norton.
I know Ken Norton. He's one of the only guys. So there's this crazy stat. There's like only a couple guys that won 2 Super Bowls on 2 different teams consecutive years. I was one of the guys lucky enough to do it, and Ken was one as well. So I know his name for sure, and he was a great player. Yeah.
Great player, man. Great coach, great person. And so he was one of the guys that came to me and was like, man, you can get me a inside linebacker drafted. Maybe they'll listen to you. I was like, I don't know, man. I don't know what's going on, but I doubt it. And so once they moved on, I seen they moved on from Jack Del Rio. I was like, And the Gruden thing came up. I was like, who knows what's going to happen now? I think they gave him the 10 years, $100 million. I was like, dang, they even paying the coaches. I can't get no love. I can't get no love.
Crazy,
I can't get no love, man. I'm working hard out here.
Yeah.
And so it was one of those things. And then you seen they sent me to Chicago, which perceivably was supposed to be the worst option out of the few. I think it was a couple more teams that pitched some deals.
Who else was it?
I think it was San Fran. I know San Fran was one of the top offers. I feel like they offered 2 first-round picks and some players, and it was technically the best deal, but they wouldn't take it from San Fran because they knew the potential of what could be or what could happen with that, especially record-wise. I think they want you to have the worst record.
Right, so that they look good.
Yeah. Have the top
and have the top pick, but also you don't want to you don't. I mean, you were going to ball out wherever you went, but if you were balling out on a big stage every week, it's like, why did they, And then Derek got paid, and that's your guy, as I understand it. You guys are tight, and I feel like Derek, not that they're the same guy, Derek and Justin, but they both gotten some shit in the media, I think, for who people perceive they are. And they seem to be much different than that. Would you describe Derek's situation that way? A lot of people said, like, Herbert's this laid back guy. He's not going to be tough enough. He's not going to be fiery enough. And man, like, couldn't be anything further from the truth. I watched that game last year where he busted his rib, got up and put the missile launcher on his shoulder. Like, I was like, if I'm his teammate, I'm running through a wall for him. And I know Derek probably, you feel the same way.
Absolutely, man. I feel like the perception of who people and who players are definitely far off. When you think about what players go throughout the year, it was something with Herbie. I didn't even know he had a rotator cuff or whatever the case may be, and he needed surgery on his shoulder alone. But playing with busted ribs and a busted shoulder for more than half of the season, and gut. I'm talking about. I feel like they wanted to shut him down one week, and he was like, "Hell no, ain't no fucking way." And I think they wanted to shut him down after one game when it got out of hand. I think we kind of blew out towards the end. And he's like, "Fuck no, I'm not coming out." And that right there, I think that kind of showed the whole team, like, man, this dude, he willing to lay it on the line even when this shit don't matter right now in this moment. It's like, shit, we got to get our shit together and do something. And so I feel like that was that Miami week where we were able to bounce it back and kind of get a stretch of wins.
Yeah, that was a great win for you guys, and I love Justin Herbert, so I was super excited to watch him play this year. When you get to Chicago, and this is relevant right now to me because, Chris Jones is holding out. You went through one of those things, and it's so funny because whenever I see holdout, you hear about the holdout, you know what it's over, but I don't know what it's like to be holding out day to day. I don't know, like, do you just put the phone down? Like, are people hitting you up left and right trying to talk around the thing, trying to get the information? Like, where you lean in and do you check in with your agent every day? How do you focus? What's that like?
I mean, it's stressful in that aspect of things, not knowing what's going on, because you see so much on the internet. You see Twitter, you see hypothetical situations. Oh, they want to send him here. They want to send him there. But you hear, I think my agent called Reggie McKenzie at the time, and I was in New York. I went to New York to see my agent, Joel Siegel, by the way.
I know,
Nobody
I know
knows
him.
yet.
Yep.
And he called Reggie while I was at the table with him, and Reggie said, I think Reggie McKenzie, he said, Reggie, what's going on? Why can't we get this done? It's a few more weeks to the season. It's like, why is my guy feeling the way he's feeling right now if you guys care about him the way you say you do? He said, Khalil has gotten to the point where he wants a trade. And Reggie said, over my dead body. And I was like, I smiled. I smiled a little bit like, oh shit, okay, maybe.
Yeah.
maybe they don't want to do that. You know what I'm saying? Okay. But he said if I was to trade him, I'd be leaving soon after him. And so after that, I was like,
that turned out to be true, I think.
Yeah, I was like, holy shit. So I was like, it was
Reggie's a man of his word, dude.
No doubt, man. So there's always love whenever I see Reggie.
Yeah.
'Cause I understood the situation. When you bring a guy in like Gruden, $100 million, you're gonna give him full control of the team. And so it was a kind of like a finite situation, but I knew it was out of my control. I know just like these guys know it's out of their control, but you see those fines adding up. I think they say Nick was at over $1 million right now or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Because I talked to Joey about his situation from time to time, and so it's kind of like one of them things where you see those numbers and you see what the team's saying, and it's like, damn, we gonna be able to get this done.
Yeah. Yeah,
and it's just a little stressful, but you gotta just keep working out and grinding and understand that whatever the situation may be, man, you gotta make the most of it. Whether it's a move on from this situation or whether it's they can bring me back in time for the season. But I think
you got those fresh
Chris
legs,
got like 2-3 days. Yeah, I think Chris got like 2-3 more days. Don't they play Thursday?
Yeah, he plays Thursday, and they got Lions are good up front, so he might have some leverage in his hands waking up Friday morning. But like I was wondering, your legs were probably fresh though when you got out there.
Yeah. That first quarter and a half, first half, I was rolling.
Yeah,
that fourth quarter, that fourth quarter when Aaron Rodgers popped wherever he popped in the back, and they took a shot and gave him whatever he needed for that knee. I said, "Dang, this dude back out here," and they went to work. But,
was that the Shea McClellan game where Shea rolled up Aaron's ankle or his knee?
Yeah, somebody rolled up his knee. I don't know if it was Roy. I don't know if it was Roy Robertson or Keem or somebody got
whatever it was. You were gassed. So the question I got for you is, there's a guy on my staff. He's kind of a hothead, and he's kind of big. He takes up the whole fucking studio. He's not here today, but I was wondering if you have any Kyle Long stories.
I got a few Kyle Long stories. I don't know if I can tell them on your podcast.
Give it a shot. Give it a shot. I'll pull him up there.
I mean, man, I remember playing against Kyle my first time coming to Chicago. And I didn't know they field was that jacked up, man. But it was rough, man. I felt like we was sliding mud the whole game. I stayed on the left side the whole time.
And that field sucks.
Yeah, that at the time it was way worse than when it was when I was there. But man, you talking about couldn't get my feet in the ground, but I kept power wrestling the whole game. And he kept laughing the whole time, like, dude, we both gonna keep falling. I don't care what they call it.
That's great.
And I'm like, man, who is this dude? Why is he so funny, man? Your brother hilarious, man.
I know. He used to talk about you all the time. I kind of imagine him just bothering you at your locker when you were trying to just have some time to yourself, because that's kind of what he does to me before the show. I'm trying to take notes and shit. I'm kind of doing myself, and the motherfucker's got a different thought every 3 seconds.
Yeah, very, very deep thinker, man.
He's a deep thinker. With the fights with him and Akeem, was it just like watching King Kong and Godzilla, where those guys just like fucking moving the earth?
Man, you talk about we'll wake the whole practice up. It was. I think those fights were 10 out of 10 every time because you
Yeah.
knew they had the utmost respect for each other. But for some reason that day, it wasn't the day. It wasn't the day for either of them to be touched the wrong way.
Yeah, exactly. And you got to be with Staley for the first
Yeah.
time.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
you know,
yeah.
like I think a lot of people, myself included, don't know the guy. I mean, you know, and sometimes I'll see him say something I don't get him or something, but you know your coach.
Yeah.
Did you, when you were in Chicago, say, "Hey, this guy"? You know how we'll talk about certain guys and be like, "That guy could be a head coach one day."
Yeah.
Did y'all see that coming?
Nah, for sure, man. You seen it in the meetings when it was just me, Flo, Aaron Lynch, and Isaiah Thomas or something like that.
Aaron
But,
Lynch is the dude, man. I
yeah,
love Aaron Lynch.
yeah. That's my guy, man. But it was just us four, and you saw the passion in his eyes whenever he made his. I'm talking about like Thursday evening. After practice, he would make a speech like we were about to go out on the field, and he'll have us ready to go. You see the passion in his eyes. It's almost like he kind of brought tears to his eyes whenever he spoke about the game. And it's like, man, this dude is the real deal, man. And you saw how he carried himself. You know the difference between your coaches, the ones that carry themselves in a certain way, in a certain light. And he kind of always stood out to me. And especially during practice, we focused a lot on the details. And when we studied film, he called out a lot of things that maybe I didn't see throughout the week. Like I told you, I'll bring my notes in and tell him what I'm seeing, but he'll have a whole nother flip for me to make it even more easy when they expect trap pass. Whenever this guard is twitching on his backside, he's pulling and he's pulling for pass, and it's like it made it a lot easier. And he's still doing that to this day.
And like, you know, he's probably a little bit more of a sports science guy, you know, like he's kind of progressive. So that's got to be good, man. You're 30 something now. I don't know how old you are exactly.
32,
I don't want to put it in
32 to be the exact.
32, bro. Yeah, 32, not 33. But like that's got to feel good to have a coach that gets how to take care of your body.
Oh, absolutely, man. 100%. He definitely adding on years right now, man. I'll tell you that much for sure.
How many you want to go, you think?
I always said 10, man, but the way these practices and as easy as it feels on your body, with the new CBA and all this different stuff, I might be able to squeeze out a few more, man. Who knows,
good.
Man? Let my sons be able to grow up and see me play a little.
Oh yeah, that's cool. You want to be home to to hang out. It was perfect for me. My son was like 3-4 years old when I retired, so he got to see it a little bit. But now I get to, like, when we were trying to set this deal up, Waylon had flag football, and he's pretty fucking good, dude. I was surprised. I mean, he's pretty good out there.
Why would you be surprised?
I don't know.
Why would you be surprised, man?
Because there's so many good athletes in my family. I don't think I don't think of myself as but he's pretty good out there. All right, so there's another guy in Chicago that I want to ask you about, Sean Desai. Because he's up with Philly now, and I think people are probably excited about him. What can you tell Philly fans about the dude? Because we got a lot of Birds fans that listen to this podcast.
Is he the D coordinator in Philly?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Oh my God, man, that's gonna be scary, man.
We're gonna be happy,
man. Y'all are gonna be. Oh man, that's gonna be. I low key didn't know.
Yeah,
I knew he was in Philly, but I didn't know his role. I didn't know he was a D coordinator. I knew he was in Seattle last year.
Yeah.
But I didn't know he was a D coordinator in Philly with all those guys. My goodness.
That sounds like it's going to be good.
That's going to be scary.
Okay, good. All right, good.
That's going to be scary right there, man.
Good.
Another big fan, Gio. Tree guy.
Yeah.
Spent a lot of time with him, and when that year, I feel like that year when me and Rob were together. That second year me and Rob were together, he was the D coordinator, and I think both of us had probably like 7, 8, 6 sacks apiece.
Yeah.
In the first 5-6 games.
Yeah.
And it was.
You mentioned Rob. His knees and ankles aren't normal.
Man. Year 11, he still was bending. He was the only person I know that can run straight and
sideways.
bend back sideways.
I've told so many people
From-
this. It's like, what, dude? That we called him Gumby. So
that's what it said.
yeah. So that's my dude. All right. So last thing I want to ask you about, there's a couple little fun things I want to hit you on, but my producers here, they do a great job. But sometimes before I ask a question, just in case it's not fucking true, I like to say they brought me this. They said that John Mayer is one of your favorite musicians. Is that true?
Yeah, absolutely. He's
Okay.
definitely up there.
So
Yeah.
have we gotten into Dead and Company, the Grateful Dead cover band that he does? Are you aware of this?
Nah, I'm not aware of that though.
Okay, so you got to check out some Grateful Dead. I'm introducing
Yeah.
the Grateful Dead. And then who else do you like to listen to?
Man, I like to listen to PJ Morton, kind of like a R&B vibe. I don't know if you really know about PJ, but he's a big deal.
Okay.
I like a little Anderson .Paak. What else? What else you got? I kind of like a little more the old school, like Isley Brothers, Earth, Wind and Fire type vibe.
Hell yeah, dude. Hell yeah.
I'll throw some J. Cole in there.
Okay.
Little Jay-Z.
Yeah.
I'm kind of that type of
So
dude.
we do a layup line here where we let the guests pick a song to let everybody rock out to a little bit during the show. Is there a song you listened to lately that you like?
Dang, man. Damn, that's a good question, bro. Listening to lately, let me think.
And they also said you got a good voice, man.
Yeah.
Okay, producers, fuck
I
that
play,
one up.
I play
Okay,
football.
but
man.
guitar.
I
what about guitar? Because I heard you learn
I
guitar.
play a little. I play a little bit.
Yeah.
My fingers, bro. You know.
I know exactly what you mean, bro.
D line. It's some rough. Yeah. Joey. Yeah, they always talking about my hands, man.
Yeah. So guitar is not a. So one song you like. It could be maybe your favorite song.
Maybe my favorite song. Dang, that's tough, bro. This is one I listen to after every game. I play a little Frank Sinatra, My Way.
Dude,
I stole that one. I stole that one from C Wood, man. C Wood retiring year 18, and they played it at practice, and he standing up with his hands up.
Yeah.
And I'm like, damn, that's dope. That's
cool.
a dope song, man.
We were doing this show. We were doing Inside the NFL today, and Ocho Cinco's on the show. He's sitting right next to me. It's our first fucking show, and all of a sudden, in the middle of a segment, RC's talking to us, and Frank Sinatra comes on somebody's phone, like at like level 10, and I'm like, fuck, I hope it's not me. Like I'm gonna get fired. The whole thing. I look over Ocho, just staring at his phone, bro. He listens to Frank Sinatra, so that's your guy. Yeah.
That's dope.
Yeah, that's your guy. And the last question for you, I've actually never heard this story until now. You wore 46 at Buffalo because of what?
So I was gonna change my number after my red shirt year. It's a 32, but the NCAA rankings came out and they showed you your overall. I was a 46 overall on the game, and I was like,
that game's trash. They don't send people to Buffalo to watch practice.
I said, nah, this ain't it. But I thought it was a sign. I was like, I'm gonna go and hold on to this.
That's so good, man.
46.
I had no idea. Well, I know the pro number isn't a reflection of your Madden rating, so that's good. That's good. Dude, a lot of fun talking to you. And one last thing I gotta tell you, we're part of an elite fraternity, you and me. Rookie year, we both had coaches fired after 4 games. hey,
he said elite fraternity.
Elite, bro, elite. They didn't even give Scott Linehan 5 games, dude. What are you supposed to do? We were rookies. Like you're looking around, like the guy that drafted me's gone. What the fuck? It's chaos.
Dennis Allen, man. We just practiced against him in New Orleans.
Yeah.
Then he got Derek too. So he drafted Derek too. So it was definitely one of those like, damn, okay.
But I looked that up. I was like, holy shit, let me look at this again. We both had coaches fired after 4 games rookie year. Khalil Mack, looking forward to watching you play, man. Big fan, obviously, your game, bro. So thanks for coming on. And we'll catch you down the line.
No doubt, man. Big fan of yours too, man. Appreciate you, brother.
Appreciate you, my guy.
Man.